I'm really excited for today's Pitch with Peter because we're meeting with Anna, the CEO of Sensate. Now, Sensate has built this really cool device. If you really struggle with sleeping, you can use it as an aid to help you get into a more relaxed, meditative state to easily fall into sleep. In fact, I used it last night and was able to enjoy a really nice, restful night of sleep. Let's dive in and listen to Anna share her story and the vision for what she's building.
Stefan really is the genius behind the product. I'm the CEO, the person who raises money, takes it to the market, the hustler, and I love it. And it's really meaningful to get to work with a product that's like genuinely helping so many people. He has a background in integrated healthcare, has ran the largest integrated healthcare clinic in the UK for many years. They've helped a lot of people with severe stress and trauma-related conditions. And he found that this type of therapy, which already existed in larger kit, was very helpful for PTSD and related conditions. And so he then came up with, when he was actually using it himself, because this product isn't just good for stress and anxiety, it's also good for longevity and things like that, which a lot of people use it for. He had this realization that actually the body's built to do this itself. It's why we all in yoga, we should be able to use bone conduction to create this resonance field in the chest area. And that's how he came up with it.
Can you talk a little bit about, how that journey of bringing the product to market and why the form factor and the business model? And
so getting the first product to market was just an opportunity to test. What's great with direct to consumer as well is that you get data quite straight away. If you want to go into healthcare or B2B, sales cycles are quite long and it's hard to kind of sell things. And so the way then I decided to take that to market was through an Indiegogo campaign. And that was because we didn't have the product ready yet. So we could still start to sell the product, to test out, get market data, get information, and then obviously continuously communicating with customers who were indeed very patient while we got the product to market. So I guess rewards-based Indiegogo can be used like a little bit of an e-commerce platform, and it can be slightly confusing, but also has abilities internationally. We got geo data, we got like a lot of understanding, and also we used, obviously, we marketed and drove a lot of traffic to the campaign. We targeted internally 300K and we did over 1 million. Wow. So that was another very big success metric. And then from there, I also used that time to then update the brand, which we did with an agency called Poppins, and that went extremely well. And we delivered our own .com. So then we launched .com, and that's where we are selling most of our products. We also are live on Amazon USA and Amazon UK, and we also have some affiliates and some partnerships.
Maybe for our viewers and listeners, it would be helpful to actually maybe do a demo of the product.
So basically, the product looks like this. You place it on the sternum, where you get bone conduction. So not too far down on the soft tissue, but on the bone on the sternum. And you put on your own headphones. And then on your phone in the app, you just turn it off. And actually, once you turn on it get a little blue light, it pairs automatically. So you don't need to go into settings and pair it or anything like that. It just connects with the app. And if it's the first time, you just press start, you lay down and you hear sound and feel a sort of purring vibration in the chest area. This is not mechanical vibrations like in a phone. This is infrasonic vibration. It's like the makeup of the universe. This is very natural to our body. And as I mentioned, it's actually the reason for umming in yoga. Doing it correctly means that you get the low frequency vibration into your chest to activate the vagus nerve. That is the reason you in yoga. Similar with certain type of chants. So this is ancient tradition. We're just tapping into the body's own intelligence. In addition to that, we have hearable sound, which is also calming and relaxing. And it is one session. So it's very intelligent implementation of the synchronized, so they're harmonized. And this part I think is more intuitive, like how the chest area works and all of that is just like no news, right? But we also already know that even on a like water or sand or cells with frequencies in harmony, versus frequency with disharmony. So we just made sure that the harmonies, the frequencies that are coming through the hearable sound with the infrasonic frequencies are also harmonized.
I've just been really impressed with how easy the whole user experience was in terms of connecting it to the device. And then every time I use it, I just open up the app, push the button, and it's good to go. So well done on that.
There are two aspects to things that help us. One, which is, does it actually work?
Mm-hmm.
And is it easy enough and pleasant enough that you keep doing it? And that is the reason why there were a number of other different things that came across my table before I chose to work with Sensate. And it doesn't matter to me if the results are great, but people aren't using it, then it has zero effect. So I think, it is really important that, it's easy to use, and also that you do feel the results immediately to get that mass market to continue to do it. We obviously also have users that are much more in the optimizer segment, and that's their
Sure.
drivers are slightly different. Yeah.
Sure. How do you think about kind of the vision and the future, whether it's like new products, new product development, or, how do you kind of broaden your impact? Like what is the long-term vision for Sensate?
Yeah, by 2025, we'll be a multi-product, subscription-based company with global distribution. So at the moment, and the way we started out, is making sure that we have this one basic product that's working extremely well. I have no issue admitting that our app is very basic, could be more supportive, could have more features. And it's coming. So we really have made sure that we validate that this product genuinely works. Both Stefan and I have got a lot of better things to do in life than trying to push something up a hill. And so we have a number of other products on the roadmap, both hardware products. Also, we do have this more optimizer segment that are interested in more like data and integrations and things like that. We'll continue to make sure that we can reach as many as possible, because that is really what we care about. It is mass impact and really making sure that as many users as possible use the product. So it's kind of a hardware roadmap, a software services roadmap, and a data roadmap, if you like.
Got it. How do you think about kind of subscriptions? Do you go the route of like Calm and so forth, where you have lots of different kind of sessions and music?
Yeah, so we do actually have requests for more sessions daily, because we have a frequent user base, which is a great problem to have. And it is coming. It is quite sophisticated, so it takes a little bit of time to do it. We work with both scientists and composers, and you have to understand both the science and the medical aspect, and also the sound, the hearable part needs to be pleasant. Right. So and we have started by just selling the product and the app, everything, all the sessions, charging up front. That has been very tactical for early stage and cash flow. So we charge a full amount up front, and then people can continue to use it forever. It also allows us then to see a little bit more of the usage pattern, so we can see that there is so 47.7% of our active user base use it several times a week, and they are also the vocal ones. So that means that there is great opportunity for us to provide them. We also asked for willingness to pay, which is insanely high, having done this with loads of other companies. And there's a difference. Like, I haven't been enticed to be working with any of the apps. What I've found, and I've been working a lot in product, is that so frequently, and this goes the same with wearable trackers very often, it's like you have such a small percentage of people that really change behaviors. And I've been through the whole school in the early 2000s and all of that, of how we develop habits through digital services, and worked a lot with mobile in my career, and also social media, and got sort of, it's always the same. It's always the same single-digit percentage of people actually end up changing behaviors, and this is what I see is completely different with Sensate. And so for the more frequent users, there's a huge opportunity for us to have a premium subscription while allowing still the sessions that we have to be free. And then we're definitely exploring and experimenting and evolving in terms of business models and price models. And I think that's really important. I see that finally there is movement towards more sort of hardware, software combined business models, tracking that very closely, like because ultimately going full subscription is not to show off. You do it if it genuinely increases the value to the users and to you as a company. So does it increase lifetime value, and does it increase engagement? If you have a product that makes people's lives better for using it more frequently, which we have, then obviously the company benefits are aligned with the customers. The more you use it, the better we are, the better you are. And then a subscription based model really underpins that.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Anna as much as I did. I think she's building a really interesting business. There's some things that I really like. I love the fact that she's in market. She's got customers that love the product. They use it on an ongoing basis. And hopefully, from my perspective, that means that these are really happy customers. They're telling other people about how awesome the product is and encouraging them to buy. To me, like, those are great signs of early product market fit, and I think are crucial to her ability to continue to grow this business and have a bigger impact. There are some risks, though, to be aware of. I mean, this is a hardware business, and the reality is that hardware is hard. And today, a lot of her sales are all one-time sales, right? I buy this device, and even if I love it, I may not be coming back and spending more money with her until inevitably maybe it fails. The other thing with hardware devices is if you think about the last couple of years with all the supply chain issues, with the chip shortages, et cetera, this does leave the business open to some external threats that are kind of outside of their control. Right? If we go through another chip shortage, maybe heaven forbid China invades Taiwan, and that creates another tightening on the chip supply market or creates other disturbances in supply chain, that could negatively impact this business. Also, usually hardware companies face much lower margins. And although she has a plan to improve those margins over time as she increases her order quantities and can drive down the cost of manufacturing, it still leaves her with less money on a relative basis to other companies that you could be investing in, like a software business. And as there's less capital in the business, that's less capital that's available for growth. That said, I do really like her plans to move into a subscription model side of the business. I think that could be really positive, as well as introducing additional products. At the end of the day, mental health is a massive problem in the world. People are struggling with anxiety and depression, and clearly things like meditation can be really helpful, and companies like Headspace and Calm have really proven that there's a market there. And so I'm excited about the idea of this device because I think it is a really effective way to get into a better meditative state. Tell me what you think down in the comments. Is this an interesting deal? What risks did you identify through our conversation that gave you pause, or what got you really excited? If you liked this video, check out my other one where I meet with Rad, learn more about how they're disrupting marketing and bringing more authenticity to marketing and advertising.